This episode of Keeping Tabs is brought to you by Doot Loot, your one-stop shop for Japanese and Russian foils. If you spend $100 or more, you'll earn free entry into our online cEDH league this month. So don't miss out and upgrade your deck's bling today. Welcome back to Critical EDH. Jason's never recorded a podcast in his life before. It is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
What are you thankful for?
Honestly, I'm thankful for hanging out with you guys this year. It's been an amazing ride. Just like meeting everyone and like at each event, you know, you guys are my pillars of support.
Oh, I'm hard to you, apparently. I'm thankful for 5,000 subs, dude.
This is incredible.
How did we do that in a year? Like less than a year. It was February 1st we released our first video. And like
Right after Snowy Summit.
Yeah.
And then now we're here Thanksgiving, almost at the end of the year.
It's awesome. And we have a whole another month to go. So we are giving out these 5 pretty cool cards. I think they're cool. A few of them signed, a few of them Japanese, and like a foil time sieve, which is kind of a card in vogue right now.
Wow, I love the time sieve. It looks so good.
It does look good. Is that a Ripple foil Soul Ring?
It is a Ripple, or no, it's a Surge foil Soul Ring from Final Fantasy.
Nice.
So staples, cards that are playable. Wait, so it's Pyroblast, and then what's the next one?
Spellskite, Time Sieve, Soul Ring, and Calling the Weak.
Yep, and then the Pyro and the Calling the Weak are signed.
Wait, Soul Ring and Calling the Weak?
Yeah.
Bro, you can go Land, Rygrak, Calling, Soul Ring, Adnaz.
True.
There you go. There you go.
These are the only cards you need right here, dude.
You can Calling the Spellskite.
True.
Yeah.
Because that card's trash.
Dude, hey, in my what's it called? The deck that I'm playing for.
No, dude.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
He's talking about Marchesa.
It's Marchesa. It's so good.
So yeah, we're giving these away, just ignoring what Austin said. We're just giving these away on our Discord. You just have to go to our Discord, find the announcement, click the little button that says participate. The bot will randomly pick someone. Unfortunately, because these cards are expensive, we're only giving them out to US participants. So sorry about that if you're located elsewhere. But yeah, so go check that out.
And then a few tournaments we're going to talk about. We have the Royal Rumble.
January 24th to the 25th?
Yep.
Okay. It's a 12K scaling up to 20K. Rhode Island.
Just an hour outside of Boston.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of different airports you can fly into if you're traveling for this event. We just learned that there might be a pretty large EU contingent of players coming to the event.
Yeah, I mean, it's like right there on the edge of our like
on the coast,
area,
as one would say.
Yeah. I guess that's the geographical term.
Yeah. Hey, we're good at Magic. Don't worry about other things. We're talented at Magic. But this event's gonna be awesome. It's really cool. We're looking forward to it. We're gonna have some players from our team there. Who that all is, we're not really sure yet. But I think Austin and
I think Austin and Jordan are going for sure. Eric's a little uncertain right now.
I think Jason and I are uncertain for other reasons, which we'll talk about in a second. But
yeah,
we're happy
I'm
to
stoked to be
them.
there. I think I'm pretty guaranteed I'm going.
Yeah.
Also, if you win the league this month, top point total gets an entry into Royal Rumble. So
and that's a reason to
like
fight.
November month?
This month, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Jason's like, I'm on winter break. It's time to start playing.
We're trying to find reasons to like get people to grind for the top spot and also like play a lot of games, which people are doing this month, which is really good.
Yeah.
We have, if you look at like our top 16, almost all of them are achieving that goal of like playing 50 or more games, which is insane. That's really cool.
It really is cool. On to the next one, we have our Critical EDH November League, kind of just transitioning straight into this.
Yep. Not much to say about this. It's just kind of our last week for this month before we shift into next month. We're not quite ready to announce everything for that next month. We might just do a standalone video for December. Just say like, hey, here's the whole rundown of December. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter month, but we'll make it interesting and nice. And we want it to be a competitive month, but also a fun one where we can give out some really cool prizes.
Yeah. Also, we did get a hint at the ancient tomb that someone's doing for us. That
Oh no, is it
yeah,
cool?
I sent it over to the
Oh,
chat.
right,
It
yeah.
is so sick. I was like, oh wait, we can't give this away. I want it. Like,
You just have to win it, right?
It's
Yeah.
like you and all the altars, brother.
It's true. I do. I love altars, man. I love them. But yeah, it's gonna be a good league so far, and good pricing as well.
Oh, and we surpassed our numbers from last month, so we're already at time of recording like 589, and we might hit 600.
600 before
If
the
we
end
hit
of the league?
600,
That Fierce is up.
Even if you just sign up, you don't play, we're gonna add that altered Fierce Guardianship into the pool, and that card is really really cool.
Oh, also speaking of we finally got pictures of the altars for last month. The Chromox and the Birds of Paradise are amazing. Like,
I'm just
Incredible.
I'm just gonna start taking like non-foils that are staples and just start sending them to Hummingbird.
Yep.
Like, just do what you want. Like, you know, blank canvas, whatever you want.
yeah, specifically the Chromox, I was just like, this thing is
Yeah.
bananas.
Oh, and I realized the polluted delta that I have that I keep talking about, like I have messed up polluted deltas in my decks.
Yeah.
The one that's altered, that's extended, is a Hummingbird altar. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. I was like, this thing is so cool. Like, I'm so glad I have it, but I would love to track down who it was. And I saw his signature. I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You're like, wait, they mad.
Yeah.
He also is starting to do mats, like play mats,
Oh.
somewhat soon. He has a Thrasios mat that he like kind of showed off
That's
a
cool.
little bit, or he started talking about a little bit, and I've seen a little bit more of it, and it looks amazing.
Well, if you want to check out Hummingbird stuff or any of the other things, just look at our Twitter and links in the description of this video, and we'll have all the information for that.
And then something locally that we're probably going to go to is the Fort Collins Fight Club #2.
Yeah, this was a really fun event last time. It's kind of been a unique space, and the store doesn't really seem to grasp what having a cEDH event is, but we made it work last time, or they made it work last time, and it was very fun. That was the one where Tyler won and then immediately drove down to locals and then won locals.
It's so crazy.
Insane to me. But yeah, I think it was a really good group of people and a different set of people, so it was nice to play with
Yeah.
them. Looking forward to that.
And I think pricing for this one is the Mana Confluence and Expedition Mana Confluence.
Yeah, the Zendikar Expedition foil.
Okay.
Mana
that'd be nice.
Confluence.
That's super nice.
Another one for my collection.
Another one for the collection.
I snagged the Chromox last time, so I didn't win, but like
Sure.
I took the Chromox anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So I came in second, right? And
Yeah.
I forfeited my cash winnings to get the Chromox instead.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Sure.
Because Tyler didn't want it. He's like, I just want the cash, and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
sure.
He's like, I already have a Chromox.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
The Mana Confluence will be mine.
Oh, one other event. We have Doot Loot,
Yep.
friend of the channel. He's hosting an event in San Francisco.
Friend and sponsor of the channel. I'm sure you've seen it on all of our videos. We've been proudly sponsored by Doot. He has an absolutely amazing selection of Japanese and Russian foils, specifically for cEDH and these other like legacy style formats. They're just incredible cards, and every time I see him posting cards, I'm like, damn, I thought my cards were cool.
Bro,
And
I
then-
know. I get mocked by him every time I post a picture. I'm like, oh, wow, look at my cool card. And he's like, here you go. Here's like this altered, it's foiled,
Yeah.
it's signed,
It's signed.
It's so
foreign
sick.
language. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, mine's trash now.
Specifically Russian foils. I'm just like, how do you get these cards, man?
Yeah.
Like, who do you know that's going across that border right now?
They're really, really hard to get a hold of. And I think as players, we're always looking for those things that add that next level of like rarity to our cards, especially cards that we just love and we see like play in a bunch of our decks. I think Underworld Breach is probably a really good example of this. It's a staple of our format right now. And if we can just like, there's only what, 2 or 3 real printings of the card with 2 different arts.
Yeah, two
like-
printings of it.
Yeah, and then one is like a different frame. It's like, okay, whatever.
I think
But-
there's 3, right? There's the secret layer.
Oh, there's a secret layer one.
There's a secret layer.
Sure.
Yeah.
I refuse to acknowledge that one.
What? That one's so cool.
It's like a rage foil, but I'm like, it's whatever, bro. It's whatever.
But if you take that card, for example, and then you see like a Japanese signed one, you're like, oh, that's like way cooler than my English non-foil or whatever.
Or you
It's
start
like,
seeing the Croches miscut.
Oh God!
And you're like, come on, man.
I saw dude sold like an NFC card to one of our members.
The Glenmore?
The Glint horn. Yeah, that thing was sick.
I was like, wow, that's so cool. So anyway, if you're looking for any of this stuff, join the Dude Loot Discord. But also, he's hosting his first event, and it's unfortunately the same time as Royal Rumble, but
Opposite sides of the country, though, so I don't think it'll be a problem.
No, I don't think it'll be a problem for attendance. But I mean, for us, being a team of like, which event do we go to? We're kind of like, But I was talking to Jason. I was like, we might go to this one instead because it's just like a little closer. It's a little, closer to home and all that stuff. So we'll think about it. We're trying to make the details work out.
There's less of a chance of a winter storm happening in San Francisco as well.
We might want to get away from the winter weather too. It'd be kind of nice.
Nah, I like the snow.
It's gonna be in the middle. Yeah, but you want to travel in the snow and like not be home.
I'm gonna still wear shorts and flip flops.
Dude, there's no way in Boston in January.
In Boston, dude. I don't know. Anyway,
maybe it's for my own safety then.
Check out this event. It's called Breach the Bay. It's the also like Tim has done really really good art for the map.
The map's really cool.
Yeah, he's wearing like a Giants hat too, which is really cool.
Wait. There's also a buffet at this event. There's buffet.
Food?
Yeah,
there is a buffet at this event.
You and me will travel for food, guaranteed. All right. Anyway, on to the next one.
All right. And then this past weekend, we had the Colorado Card Conquest, the tournament that happened for charity that happened in Denver.
Yeah, Jason and I put up a kind of mini like vlog on our way.
It's like a 40-minute car vlog on the way to the event.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's not as popular as our other videos, but people liked it. Like it's the conversation Jason and I were gonna have anyway, but we just recorded it and put it up, and it was fun.
You can know what we order at McDonald's and what we eat.
Someone said like McGriddle with like hash browns, and I was like, damn, I should have got a McGriddle.
That's what I order for breakfast.
What's a McGriddle?
It's like a pancake with the McDonald's logo on it because it's in like a griddle, like they like smash it. But it's like sweet, and then you've got like the egg, cheese, and like sausage or whatever on top. So it's a pancake sandwich.
Interesting. Okay.
And if you take a hash brown and you put it in that sandwich too. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I'll have to eat that next time.
But we just kind of like, we're like, oh, we don't got time. We're just ordering whatever, get some orange juice, and then resume on our way.
Okay, is it orange or orange?
I don't understand what the difference is. Say again?
Is it orange or orange?
It's orange.
Okay.
Orange?
Okay.
Orange? I don't know that there's
Orange?
an incorrect pronunciation of the word orange.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the second way he was saying that was incorrect.
Orange or orange?
That one.
Some people say
It
orange.
doesn't rhyme with anything else, so like, I don't know.
So how was the tournament for you guys?
I should have left Swiss with like 21 points, but it's okay. Instead, I left Swiss with 13, so I went 203.
The tournament itself was fantastic. I think the venue was great. The cause is really awesome, like having a charity and all that stuff. We really like that, and it brings together like a more eclectic group of players than what we'd otherwise see at like a level 7 event. This like gold as well, just like a different group. It's
like weirdly like further north, so like there was a lot of players I just didn't know.
Yeah. The turnout was good. It was like 67 players or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was a higher turnout from last year, I believe. Just they didn't run as many side events, so it didn't feel like that.
Yeah, it felt like a little empty, but like our event was still full.
Yeah. And honestly, like everything was set up well. Like I really like the venue because it's spacious. Like you have room to walk around, and you have room to like
clean bathrooms and
the bathrooms excellent. The bar that you can have access to.
Jason's never touched alcohol in his life, and he's praising the bar.
Hey! The chicken tenders, bro. Okay, they're
True. There was also a picture of me in Top Cut. I was just eating a slice of pizza because I was just like. Just wasn't going well, but overall the event was like good. I think we both have stories from Swiss to like share that are questionable. It felt like very strange at times.
I saw someone force a nega fluster storm.
This was my game, by the way.
Yeah.
Jason's watching my game, so
I had to walk
can
away.
you just like give the setup and like what happened?
So like we're on your upkeep and this other player thinks you're gonna win the game, so
I think I had like 3 cards in hand or something too.
they had full grip.
No, I mean.
Oh, you
Yeah, like he kept saying you're gonna win, you're gonna win. I'm like,
you had like nothing, and they're casting the silence, and they're like, I'm gonna offer a draw with this, but the other players didn't agree, and then you flustered.
Everyone else wanted to draw except for me. I was like,
you flustered the silence, and then they forced a neg the fluster storm, and I was like, I gotta walk away from this one.
Yeah, and then obviously they couldn't pay for the other copy of Flusterstorm, and I was like, okay, resume to my turn. They were trying to like get me to draw by silencing me on my upkeep, and like this entire game, this player was just like very, very intent on drawing, and like we all hear about players and cEDH players like saying that they hate drawing and stuff like that, but there was really nothing in particular going on in this game where we had to draw. And so I just think that I'm not really sure. Maybe they thought they couldn't win because of like who was in the pod. I'm really not sure what happened. But just from like minute 1, they're like, guys, we need to draw this game. And
I think the pod was just like maybe a little uncomfortable for them to play in because it was like it's Kinnan, it's Tivet, and it's Rowan, right? A bunch of like they're not like it's not all like parasitic like mid-range decks, and then it's also not all like turbo slop, right? So
so it's kind of like a pretty balanced pod, to be honest.
But so it's like just navigating that might be a little harder than normal.
Yeah, and then that same game we had an incident where that player tutored a card and then shuffled their entire hand into their library, including the tutored card, by the way.
I felt,
which is crazy.
I felt so bad. I was like, oh, we're gonna.
I understand mistakes happen, but then. He says, like, guys, I'm ready to draw now because I did this. And I was like, this is also still not leverage for you to, like, draw the game.
Yeah.
Now, like, my window is, like, even more open because you don't have any interaction or whatever.
Sure.
So I called a judge, and the judge came over, and the reaction from the judge was like, okay, well, I think they just draw, like, 7 cards because we knew exactly how many cards they had in hand. And I was like, that can't be right. Like, they can't time twister themselves for free.
God, I wish I could time twist.
Yeah, that sounds great.
and the judge, Kane, really, really nice guy, one of our local judges. We like him a lot. He's judged our events before. And he's like, actually, yeah, that was kind of my gut reaction, but you're like probably right. There's probably a better way to resolve this.
Yeah.
And like in the rules, because this is like, the rules are designed for a 1v1, the ruling is the player
card error.
The player before this player in priority gets to choose the amount of cards from their deck and put them in their hand. And I'm just like, if we weren't drawing before, like we are now, but I'm not saying this out loud because I'm still like, okay. And like, so this is the craziest opposition agent I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Dude, I had this happen to me at Cookout.
Oh,
Someone shuffled, like they were mastermind looping and tutored, and then they shuffled like 34 cards into their library. And the guy, like the judge was like, yeah, technically a player that has no stake in the game at this point with like stuff on the stack gets to choose the cards that are in their hand. And it was like 34 cards. Like we knew because he had one card less in his deck than I did, right?
The player that has like no stake in the game thing, that I don't agree with. Like there's defined ways to handle these situations. And like I wasn't mad at the player because they did this. It was not like stuff happens, right? It's not that big of a deal, but I was also just very confident. I'm like, there's no way. Like, we knew he had nothing in his hand, and then just like, if he just shuffles it in, he gets to draw 7 random cards. That is also not correct.
So that's what happened was at the Cookout, the player that had the option to like detutor the things into his hand was like, oh, I feel really bad. Like, you can just draw the amount of cards. And I was like, no, he was out of interaction. Like, what are we doing here? Jeez. And then he kept his hand and he's like, I have 4 more pieces. And I was like,
my God,
oh, we're losing, dude. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But like, what do you guys think about this? Like, not this situation, but just, I've never encountered a player where they were so dead set on drawing that like, anytime someone made a move or whatever, they were like just angling to draw, and like nothing had even happened. I think it was in like turn 2 of their upkeep, they're like already pushing for a draw. I just like don't know how to navigate that situation because like I'm not a turbo deck, but I'm also like
So like the way I've found that it most helps with people dead set on drawing on turn 1, like without the other players like wanting to do this, it's like you just gotta like look at them and be like, if we naturally come to a draw, I will accept the draw, but we still have X amount of minutes left on the clock, and I'd like to play this out. If we keep interrupting the game, I will just call slow play on you with a judge,
yeah.
and then you can just move on from there.
I also think like what I've done in the situations, and this is a little bit different, but like when people are like pushing for a draw, like I actively am like, you're not in a king making situation, so I'm not going to accept a draw, right? Like
That conversation came up so many times. I was like, what are you doing to like protect someone's win or any like you're countering
we're just
a
like
spell,
naturally
like
playing the game out.
I feel like we're just playing the game. I don't. Yeah.
And it's like if you need to be able to convince them that they're not in that king making situation by like showing them your hand or whatever, like obviously don't want to give them too much information.
This player could not be convinced.
But that's a little bit different.
It didn't
for
matter.
Sure.
Yeah. So anyway, not to talk about this too long, but like we had a lot of weird situations in Swiss like this, and not just me, but Jason had some weird stuff too.
My first 4 rounds, I played like 60 minutes combined of Magic. Like, I was like, okay, round 1, 10-minute win. Round 2, pregame draw. Round 3, draw in 10 minutes. Round 4, I just went on turn 3 on my turn. So it's like I didn't play that much Magic until.
Why'd you take a pregame draw in round 2?
Oh, because I mulled the 3.
Oh.
So, but how did you force a draw in pregame? With
I just asked, hey guys, do you guys want to draw? And all the other players were like, yeah, we'll accept the draw here.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, oh, cool.
If the Jason Doan is sitting at the table and he has 3 cards in hand, I'm not accepting a draw under any circumstances. I'm like, no, we're playing this out.
Wait. No. Austin knows what happens last time.
Yeah, dude, sometimes people
Last
just win
time
right
people
to
didn't accept a draw when
Jason
I
just
mulled the
keeps-
3, bro.
Jason keeps commandeer no land.
Oh my god.
And finds 2 blue cards off the top and then steals someone's One Ring.
I took a 1 ring and I won that game.
Jeez. I had some other outside of Swiss, I won a game that was pretty good on stream. You can go watch the level 7 stream if you want to watch the game, but I assembled like the Infinity Gauntlet on Tivet, which is Adristic, Tithe, Esper, Counterbalance.
No Remora.
But I was just like stacking the triggers so that the counterbalance would always like shuffle the top card would always be different.
Yeah.
Or it would stay, and I just like wouldn't like resolve the Ristic triggers so that I would just like keep like 2 on top. And the player like definitely had a breach win, and they're like, I can't do anything, and I'm like, okay, pass the turn then. Like, yeah. So that game was really fun. The deck overall performed well, felt really good. There were just a bunch of games where I felt like I couldn't get through, couldn't win, mostly because of weird interactions and stuff, and then also like running into Pigeon round 2. Taking a draw there is pretty good. Like,
Was that round 2? I thought that was your round 1.
It's round 2.
Okay.
I think that was round 2. I was like trying to pay attention while I was not here.
Yep. 2 players had to throw to Pigeon in order to get me to not untap. So I was like, okay, this sounds good. And then he wasn't like agreeing to draw. Yeah. And I was like, guys, if you're gonna throw to him, that's fine. But like you need to agree. Like he needs to agree. And they're like, oh yeah, that's
He's just got a smile on his face, just like
not him, but like the other players are like, oh, that's probably a good idea. Like maybe we should, And some things are implied, but like you kind of have to also use your words and be like, I'm willing to do this if this is the outcome. Then that's fine. Overall, pretty good in Swiss. Like I did okay. Like I got my win that I needed to make top cut, and then Jason and I met each other in top cut, which was an interesting experience.
It was a game. I mean, I was in first seat. Then it was Tyam. Then it was Vivi. Then it was you in fourth seat.
Yep.
I mulled a 4 and I kept some trash hand. It was land, Mox Diamond, Fairy Mastermind, and I just didn't draw another land for like 3 turns. So
can you switch to the other tab and scroll through some of the pictures?
Oh yeah.
I think you kept turn 1 Taru, turn 2 Damping Sphere, and Tyam kept
I'm so glad he remembers what I kept. I don't remember.
and Tyam kept Deafening Silence, and Vivi played like
Nothing.
like Land Soul Ring Pass on their turn 1, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the game evolves to a point where like I have a study, my fairy gets shot by a bowmaster. I just don't have that much mana.
By
And then
by
there's-
Tyam's Bowmaster, not mine.
Yeah. And then there's a point in the game where I believe it was turn 3 on end step of Vivi's player. Logan cast an Enlightened Tutor, and he's like, "Hey, if you guys show me any piece of interaction or like an interaction piece or 2, I'm not gonna jam it here."
Before you go any farther, literally the turn before, you were just going, GG, bro. GG, bro.
No,
to me, I'm like,
it's because I knew you had it, bro. I knew you had it. There was nothing I could do because
Jason's like stacks locked out of the game, and
I'm
just like
literally locked
GG.
out of the game. Mind you, I drew 20 cards this game, and I drew 0 pieces of
Any
stack interaction.
Yeah.
And it
That's
was
rough.
like, wow, that's crazy. Whatever, bro.
I thought you had like a red blast or something, which is why. Anyway,
So you go end step, show me any interaction, and I won't jam. And I'm like, hey, VV player, what are you working with? He shows me a misdirection, and I'm like, okay, so sure. We can use that if that comes in handy. And then I show them my piece, and it's just a fucking Final Fortune. And I'm like, okay, between us two, we've got we've got 2 pieces maybe.
Meanwhile, to me, while I'm thinking this and this interaction's happening, I'm thinking to myself, like, I've got Tivet on board. I'm like behind a Damping Sphere and a Deafening Silence. Like, I'm chilling. Like, I'm fine. Right?
Yeah.
And like, I think I can do this like pretty protected, which is so I rip a Orim's Chant targeting the VV, and then he.
Oh no! There's no Deafening Silence because you're allowed to go Orim's Chant into.
Right, there was a Deafening Silence
So-
later.
Yeah.
So anyway, I Orim's Chant the VV, and he misdirects it back to me, and I don't have anything for it. I was like, okay. Meanwhile, I have Time Civ in hand. I could have just played Civ, and then like the game would have been over.
Yeah.
And then Jason untaps, plays some stuff.
I played Tithe, and then Tyam casts a Deafening Silence then.
Yeah.
And then the VV player casts a Hullbreaker Horror. That's what I remember.
Oh, right.
And they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to get unlocked under the Deafening Silence with the Hullbreaker
And
Horror.
we're like, no.
And I was like, bro, you're literally gonna lose this game to Tivet because you're tapping out right now.
And then I hardcast a MBT,
Yeah,
To-
you MBT the
the Hullbreaker Horror.
Hullbreaker Horror because you cracked your 2 clues in response to my Tithe.
Yeah, but
So
I
you-
still had four mana to just like hardcast the MBT on it.
So you trap the Hullbreaker, and then he just casts like a Lotus Petal and like a spell book, and then we have to call over a judge because the spell book's illegally casted through the Deafening Silence. We reroll all that. It gets to we're on end step of your turn, and I'm like, well, there's no way out for
Not
me.
my turn.
Huh? No.
On-
End step of Vivi's turn
Yeah.
before your turn. I'm like, okay, well, there's no out for me. I'm gonna die either way. So I just rip a Final Fortune into a Damping Sphere and a Deafening Silence, and I'm like, if I don't get there on my turn, it's okay. I've already lost.
And
the
you're
game.
pretty low life. I'm like slightly higher life than you, but like still, I was
Yeah,
at,
yeah,
like
so
I was
you're-
at like 18.
Yeah, you're like 18. I'm at like 14, and I showed the time player my hand, and they know I have a nod, so like they're just gonna shoot me. So I cast Final Fortune, and Logan's like, Jason did it again to us, guys. Instead, what happens is I drew a Windswept Teeth for land for turn, and I go Beseech the Mirror and grab an Otawara off of it. I Otawara the Deafening Silence, rip a wheel, and I just died at the Bowmaster.
Because you thought you could get through, but
It
unfortunately,
was like no. It was like I was praying I get lucky at all in that
Yeah, I know.
scenario because it's like I'm already dead,
yeah.
to the
But
time-
unfortunately, because of this, my time save goes to yard,
and you lose out on a player being in the game.
which is very annoying as to it. So to make a long story short, I had to like tutor and continue the game. And I had a counterbalance out at the time, and I tutored for a Savin's Wreck on top, and Vivi just straight cast Vivi into the counterbalance. And I was like, cool. And it gets countered, and then they're like, oh, okay. And then I draw Savin's Rec, cast Savin's Rec, get the time sieve back, and then start manually taking turns.
So like before he does all this, he mana drains Time because they have win if Time resolves because of their yard.
Yep.
With like floating mana combo with Earthcraft.
Yeah.
But you mana drain the Time, and then the VV player casts VV into
The counterbalance,
and then they cast a tandem lookout into it.
Yeah.
And then after that, you Savine stack the Time Sieve, you kill the Time player, and then you meme bet the fucking tandem lookout to keep drawing you cards during your manual turns to win the game.
I forgot about that. But like I had to do manual turns with Tivet, like which is it's harder for sure, but like it still kind of works.
It's still very easy to win if you're given an extra 10 turns to win the game, bro.
So that was top 16. I won that game from 4th seat, which like feels really good.
Yeah.
I was also like ping-ponging between 1st and 4th seat, all in Swiss, and then ended up 4th seat in top 16, won that game, went into the top 4, and guess what? It's fucking 4th seat again. And I was like, oh, this is
Maybe
great.
you got to just win more games in Swiss.
Yeah. I mean, I won a game in C1 in Swiss, but
You
it
are
just kept like putting me in 4.
more likely to win in 1st seat than 4th seat.
Hey, I won our game in 4th seat.
Also, going through some of these photos, it seems like there was a pretty good turnout from like Denver, Fort Collins, and the Springs.
Yeah.
Which was pretty
Like
cool.
all the crews showed up for this event. I mean, it was awesome last year. I like how the event was run.
Yeah, it was very smooth, very smooth. Anyway, got to top 4. It was Tyler, Fisher, Chris, and me. And Tyler is a local of ours, and then Fisher and Chris are from Fort Collins. So all Denver-ish, Colorado pod. Just like really a slog of a game. Very, very mid-range. Tyler's a little bit floundering on his necro, and we're all just swinging at him, like keeping his life total low. At one point, he's like, well, I'm not doing anything unless you give me 5 life.
I remember watching this on stream. Tyler was politicking so hard for the Kenrith player to give them 5 life.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to interact unless you give me 5 life.
And so
I
he
can
does.
Keep cards. Yeah, and he keeps he gets it.
Really, the main story of that game is that Kefka basically like strips all of our hands, but because I have Oppo and Ranger Captain, like they can't win.
Yeah.
And so I'm like storing all of my cards behind clues, and I have like treasures, and I'm just like cracking them on my turn, like to get the cards on my turn, because like Kefka doesn't do anything on my turn; it does it on his turn. I don't know whether I would have gotten there, but we ran into time, and which means because Tyler was still alive for some godforsaken reason, he won.
Yeah, he wins the event by default.
Yep. So it's kind of frustrating. Like that is actually the worst part about being 4th seed.
That's actually something I've thought about. Right? It's like I've been told many different things on like if highest seed alive like wins the event, like when time gets called, or if it's highest seed, like regardless of if they're in the game or not.
Yes, and there was a discussion at that tournament as to whether that was the case or not, because the Kenrith player was like, well, I would have just killed him had I known that, like, if you were going to rule it that the highest seed alive wins, then, like, I'm seed 2.
Yeah.
It's very tournament dependent. I've heard both rulings, and it's kind of like...
But I'm going to clarify that before we get to top 16 or top 4 of the next tournament. Mm-hmm. Every single tournament, because that's, like, a minor thing, but it is very important. And also... Yeah, 4th seat sucks, but like I was an active participant in that game just fine. I wasn't really complaining about being in 4th seat. And then like the thing that actually sucked the most about being in 4th seat is that like I had no chance to win by default at all.
I mean, you could just kill all 3 players.
I tried. I tried. Kefka died in the middle of the game, so like they couldn't win.
I did see that.
Yeah. But anyway, overall, it was a great event. Hopefully you've been looking at these like pictures and stuff. I took a bunch, and it was nice to have like Church came in for the event. He was...
Oh yeah, I convinced him to fly. Well, not fly in, just like drive over, and he was like, yeah, I'm down for it.
I think he drove straight from wherever he was going, like wherever
Kansas.
he was on Friday, to our event on Friday night.
Yeah, he went to
missed,
locals.
Yeah, well,
he didn't sign up
missed the
for
tournament.
locals,
Yeah.
but we definitely went to not Wendy's, Denny's with him after the event, and we just like hung out.
Yeah, I got to play, I think, a game or two with him after I scrubbed out of locals this week.
Yeah.
Felt bad.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I won locals this week.
But anyway, being able to like,
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
I just
it was an 18-player local.
Yeah, it was a pretty
so
pretty
not
small.
not like an insane prestigious thing. I don't even care if I win locals anymore. Well, I do. The money's nice, but
Do you have the tab up for the top deck?
I do
Rankings?
not. I'm currently looking at the photo of top 4.
Switch over. There should be one that's top deck, and it's the current points total.
Ah, gotcha.
So right now, Jason's in first for total points for the championship series, and this event brought me up to third, which is really, really cool. I think I'm
event-
tied for third with Dexter.
this event got me to first because Jorman was leading me, but I got some gold top 16 points.
Yeah, and I'm capped on silvers, so I can only get more bronze points or gold points, and haven't won a gold yet this season, which is like, I need to.
Bro, me too. I'm lost. I haven't top 4'd a gold event this season.
Yeah,
I gotta step on my game.
play Tivet, bro.
I'm good.
Dude, Tyler's rank 11 now.
I know.
It's pretty huge.
We have, I mean, Pigeon's up there too. I think
Pigeon's
he's-
13.
Yeah, we have a lot of Denver and Colorado players doing really well, and I think the scene is really, really healthy. We didn't play all high level games at this event, but like we did get some really good high level games in, which is nice. And it's just like the scene feels good, and I highly suggest if you're at all thinking about traveling to like Denver events or Colorado events, try to find out when some of the bigger ones are. We'll talk about one at the end of the episode. But come out to our events. We have tons of good players. And if you want to be testing your mettle against other high-ranked players, this is the place to do it. All right, so we got Austin in the hot seat. I've got my Tivet list up. Unfortunately, because of our setup right now, we can't see it. I just wanted to talk about like some of the cards and like what you guys think about these. So like in creatures, I'm only on 15 creatures, but
Only on 15 creatures? That's a lot for an Esper deck, I'd have to imagine.
you think?
Yeah, because like usually you run like sweepers and stuff in Esper, so you want like a somewhat lower creature count.
Okay, so I'm not really running any board wipes right now.
Okay.
I'm running just Psych Rift.
Okay.
But if stop me when I get to an interesting creature that you didn't expect me to run. Archivist of Ogma, Dranith, Esper, Fairy Mastermind, Grand Abolisher, Grand Arbiter.
I mean, Grand Arbiter is interesting.
Nah.
I mean, like,
No, we played it last year in Tivet.
in Tivet? Okay.
Lotho, Mockingbird, Oppo, OBM, Ranger Captain, Taru, Thassa, Voice, and Wan Chi Tong.
Fastest Oracle. That's the outlier. That's the outlier here.
No, I think like most of those are just like card draw value, right? Like a lot of it's card draw value or
Okay,
silence.
so like
Or
the
hate
grand,
pieces.
Right pieces.
the Grand Arbiter is definitely like the outlier, but it was definitely like a piece that was getting teched in late last year, just like to beat, or at least like earlier this year to beat like free interaction.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's one of those cards that I feel like once I deploy it, I have a very hard time losing the game. And
Yeah.
not to say that it
Yeah.
wins me the game,
Yeah.
but I've
Yeah.
raised the bar of where the floor is to like a draw.
That definitely makes sense. Like the game is heavily favored in your spot.
Yeah. And I am liking cards like that in Tivet right now. I think Damping Sphere is one of them where
Damping Sphere is so good.
where it like I find it
L cradles.
Yeah,
I haven't lost a game with Sphere in play.
yeah. Damping Sphere is just a really, really good card right now. It hoses all of the decks that are considered really good right now.
One card that's kind of a holdover from Turbo is that I'm playing Gitaxian Probe.
I think it's fine, especially in Tivet. Like
I-
being able to
honestly,
like
I
get that
think it's
information
like,
seems reasonable.
I think it's like just a control card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
you
it's-
pitch it to force Commandeer.
It's one of those weird cards that's like Turbo and Control.
Well, and your own scheming symmetry in the deck, right? So like you have a few more top deck tutors than traditional Esper.
Yeah.
So I think that's reasonable.
I resolved the scheming symmetry in top 4, and I like with an oppo in play, and I should have just went for a win there.
Dude, I remember watching this, and you're like, chat, one of these decks doesn't play a card that they're supposed to be playing.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but at the
I don't
time,
either, but it
like,
was so funny.
I was raising my eyebrow and going,
Yeah.
oh, what?
Like,
So my dilemma with that was I had 4 mana and I had a pact to defend it, but I had no way to get 5 mana other than through the scheming. And I was like, okay, well, I can just do Thassa Decon with pact backup because I have 4 mana with scheming. But if they have any amount of interaction that blows out my pact, I just lose the game on the spot. Which like kind of puts me in the same position I was in anyway.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe I can get like 2 pieces that give me leverage to like get back into the game. So I probably should just ripped it, to be honest. But overall, like that's kind of like a pet combo for me, and I feel in like decks that can't win, air quotes, I think it feels pretty good.
yeah, I agree.
But overall, list isn't really that crazy. I'm running Counterbalance. I think a lot of Tivets aren't running it, and I'm not running.
You're running the fabled Ranger Captain of Eos.
I will say, I think like our game that we played 2 weeks ago at Locals,
Yeah.
immediately after you played your Ranger Captain, you're like, I hate this card.
Yeah, because
I hate this card so much.
we drew the game because of it, right?
It was in the finals, so no.
Oh, I won.
You won, but
Yeah, but it made it a lot harder because of Ranger Captain. I was
Yeah.
like, it didn't need to be this hard to.
yeah, because I think it immediately got cloned, and then there was just 2 guns pointing at each other,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah. So anyway, that's all for now for Tivet. If you want to check out the list, it will be linked in the description. I wanted to chat about, just real quick, we mentioned it last week, the Fringe Festival is a local event that's coming up for us. This is a yearly event now at this point, where we ban all of the popular commanders and kind of force people onto.
when we said all the popular commanders, that list has gotten big too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe I'll play this. Oh, no, never mind. Maybe I'll play 5-colored all spells.
I
It's
was
like,
gonna-
nope, sorry, we banned that.
I was gonna play some 5-color Nozpile, and I was like, nah, we should just ban that.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, yeah, we can't like just let people have 5-color soup. Like,
Yeah.
it'll just be the best thing.
Sorry, Sisay players with
Yeah.
the mana dorks.
Yeah. But I'm stoked for the Fringe Fest. I'm pretty decided on the deck that I'm playing.
You think you're going to play Marchesa?
I think I'm going to play Marchesa. It like can play hard control, and we've been saying that I need to learn
draw
to like play the breach, play
random
breach,
cards.
right? Yeah, play Grixis, and I think the deck is really cool. It fills your graveyard relatively well. It gets to play weird cards that are very dumb for that deck.
Get probe targets.
Get probe targets. What is that? What is that
Surgical
card that's a
Extraction.
2-mana enchantment that says pay 1 life?
Oh, Spatial Binding?
Yeah, Spatial Binding is just pay 1 life, pay 1 mana, look at 2, discard 1, draw 1.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because of Marchesa. Like, it's really good in the deck. You also just like play Hex Parasite and Spellskite and
I cut Hex Parasite from my list.
Wait,
I was
really?
like- I was like, this card is so bad. Same with Spellskite. I was like, these cards are just bad.
no, I think they're cool.
These
I
guys
think
are
it's
just
cool.
bad.
I put together this list that I've been like goldfishing. Choco, Seeker of Parados.
The bird, dude.
Dude, it's Bant. It's not Derevi.
It's better than.
What? This card.
Wait, sorry. What did that? My bad. My
This
bad.
card has crazy text
Wait,
on it.
wait,
I don't
hold
know
on.
Have you guys read this?
Drevi's a deck that's better than Blue Farm, though.
According to what?
Sam Black?
That's a
Rock Thrash is the best deck.
Yeah,
in the
Rock Dress
format.
and then Narset, dude. Which we
That's-
didn't ban, so I hope we
also
see Narset.
Magda is better than Blue Farm. Did you know that? Got his ass. Got his ass.
Yeah, it is, dude. It's better than Blue Farm.
These
for
are
sure.
opinions you can have. I don't think many people will agree with you, but you can have them. Have you guys read the text on this card?
What card?
The Choco.
Oh, I played it in a casual game. I think Bardo let me borrow his Chocobo deck, and it was playing Dovescape. So it was like,
That's
Oh my
gas.
God.
I love
Yeah.
Duscape.
yeah. It
So
was
so
crazy.
it's banned, which is unfortunately a downside. But It says whenever one or more birds you control attack, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may put one of them into your hand, then put any number of lands from among them onto the battlefield tapped, and the rest into the graveyard. So you get to like stuff your yard, which doesn't really matter in Bant.
The lands part is hot.
The lands part is crazy.
Yeah.
Because you just keep ramping, and then if you get any amount of birds, like I'm playing Aven Interrupter, Birds
Traveling
of Paradise.
Chocobo is crazy in this deck.
Traveling Chocobo.
You just get Derevi in the 99.
Derevi, just because he's a bird. And Ledger Shredder.
Yeah, just because he's a bird.
Mockingbird. And then I'm actually on Roaming Throne. Roaming Throne is crazy.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's also a bird.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the deck has been like feeling good in playtesting, and Wan Shi Tong is a bird too.
Wan Shi Tong is a bird.
So yeah,
I got a question with the Wan Shi Tong thing. Do you think that Retraction Helix combo is going to start coming back a little bit more?
So it's on. This deck is on it.
No.
This deck is on it because you have guaranteed birds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine in this deck, but like overall, I think that like what Jason.
I think
said.
the combo's like pretty bad, but I do think that like just having extra random birds is like not bad.
So much to make it work, right?
You need a Ristic Studying to not be in play.
You need a free rock. You need a non-draw engine trigger to happen.
Yeah.
Or an Esper Sentinel.
Or if you just have like another spell, like if you have enough mana for multiple spells, then you can bounce the study and then cast it, then it untaps, then you do the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
You also need your thing to be unsummoning sick.
Yeah.
And for you to resolve a Valley Flood color.
Which is the reason why I'm doing it in this deck. Because like if
there's enough birds that will be unsummoning sick. Yeah.
That and also like presumably the meta will be slower because we're not
Okay. Is your bot gonna turn sideways because mana or like attacking in this deck?
dude, we're also on Enduring Vitality in this deck. Like that's what's good.
That seems good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I like it.
Anyway, I've been playing around with it. Check it out. The list will be in the description.
What are you thinking about playing for Fringe?
I've got a list of 7 decks I'm looking at right now.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for the Fringe Fest. It's going to be fun. I didn't get to play last year, so I'm very
last year I
excited
took
for it.
Marnius. It was like a really weird Esper mid-range, like all creature deck.
Yeah.
I was playing like Basalt Monolith and Forensic Gadgeteer and Hullbreaker Horror in my deck. So it was like, it's bad. It's bad. I wanted to exit the tournament as fast as possible without dropping.
You're like, I want to play Blue Farm.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna play Brea, but you just played Marnius.
Okay, so I had it together. I was like, should I just play this? It'd be a big meme just to cut Crom, put Brea in the command zone, put Timna in the 99. Just play the deck as is.
Put Timna in the 99.
Just play the deck as is.
Yeah, that would be very funny.
Yeah. Oh. Maybe next time.
She's banned.
Yeah, we banned everything. Dude, we banned so much.
So we have this thread on Reddit. The title is "Stopping Wins is a Trap." I'm going to read this and kind of give you a summary of this. I see so many people talk about picking decks that can stop other people from winning, like that's their main priority. Everyone can play what they want, but this strategy is extremely suboptimal in a 4-player game. Most experienced players seem to understand this after a while. This is a fast format. Most decks only need a single opportunity to win. Building your deck around stopping wins is futile. There's a reason when talking about the best decks in the format, it's the ones that can win games, not the ones that can prevent it. That's pretty much the gist of it. What do you guys think about this?
I think so. Like the biggest problem with stopping wins is that you're not winning the game when you're doing this.
Yeah,
and then you put I guess like this is actually like huge listening to how Sam Black puts this in his first podcast episode where if you're committing your piece of interaction on another player's like win attempt, whatever, you and that player are going down in resources, and the other 2 players have done literally nothing.
And they're gaining advantage.
And they have gained advantage from this. And this is outside of already factoring in that Rhystic Study, Mystic Grimoire, Esper Sentinel, or in a lot of games. So like you could literally be interacting. I could be interacting with you, and then Logan could draw a card from Rhystic Study, and it's like that's crazy. He didn't do anything, and we put ourselves down in.
And like we see it all the time where we're in games where like, oh, we don't have anything. Can someone like just cast spells so I draw off my Rhystic Study so we can find interaction for this? And you're like, as you're like staring at 3 pieces of interaction already, and you're like,
Guys, I don't have anything.
I don't have anything. Just give me gas. Give me more gas. Like,
I need a card to pitch.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, I agree. I think that it's a weird problem in our format where like saying a blanket statement like this just like doesn't really make sense though, right?
Yeah.
Because like you need to be able to stop a win from a deck that's faster than you, that mulliganed better than you. Like there was a point in time where we were all considering, except for Jason, cutting Mindbreak Trap, right? And he's like, "You guys are dumb as fuck. Like, like you need a way to stop the person."
Hey, I'm still off Mindbreak Trap.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, like I played it in Rogstai, right?
Yeah.
Like Force of Negation and Mindbreak Trap do not protect my wins.
Correct.
Very easily, but they're just like pieces that help me not get completely BTFO'd.
Right.
So then I can just still win.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that we need to be cognizant of the fact that like you should still probably be running these pieces because there is inevitably going to be a time or a game that you play that a deck is faster than you.
Or you're just unlucky in your moles. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Unlucky in moles,
like,
or unlucky in seed order, right? Like
you don't mulligan for interaction.
Yeah.
Like unless you're offering a draw and you want to mull for 5 pieces, you do that.
For sure. Or like if I said, like if you see a Rogsai in seat 1 on the play and you're like, guys, we all need to be a little bit responsible here, right? Like,
if it's me, you're fine, bro. It's just a turn 2 3 mana enchantment.
I
think the problem with this is that they're speaking in like this totality of
It's like a very blanket statement.
Yeah, don't stop wins. It's like, well, every deck has the ability to stop wins for the most part, unless you're just Jun Dargo or something. but even then, like you run like Mayhem Double and stuff like that could potentially stop a win.
Yeah,
like, there's tools like you can use them creatively, but it's not a trap to like not lose the game.
Right. I also think that like having pieces in your deck that do multiple things, right? Like Mindbreak Trap doesn't protect your win most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does though. Sometimes,
If
right?
you get into that like high resource stack war, it can.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I've been really, really high on Vexing Bauble again lately, and I think that card is like it's
a not lose the game card.
Yeah, it's a not lose the game card, but like later in the game when it starts being a high resource game, it can crack top deck tutors. It can be like a semi-silence. Like it's not great, but sometimes it hoses people's like their interaction that they have in their hand. And so like I like pieces that are like that have multiple uses in the deck for sure. But I like saying like, oh, I don't want to just like the game plan of your deck shouldn't be to not lose the game. It should be to win the game. Yeah. But you also need ways to not lose the game to win the game sometimes.
Right. So there's like many schools of thought, right? And I think there are 2 primary ones where it's like, oh, I'm gonna be the one that puts the win on the stack, and then if I win, like I don't have to worry about the rest of the game. But then there's also another idea, right, where like if you don't lose the game, eventually you will actually just win the game.
True.
Yeah. So like just combining those 2 thoughts are just like the most important you can do. Because like you can't rely on one fundamental idea over the other and just like exclude it because you want to be flexible in your game.
Yeah, I think certain decks can lean like one way or the other, right?
But
like
you still have to have the idea that like you still can win on turn 2.
Absolutely.
You still can win on turn 17.
Yeah. I do think that there's like decks like Tivet that are like, oh, I'm not trying to win the game on turn 2.
But if you look
at Thassa's Decon, you're like, sometimes it just happens.
You randomly luck into it, like sure.
Right. And
or
then
you turn 3 e-tutor into time sieve and then don't cast it. You know, like
I don't know who would have done that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is like a very nuanced conversation that, in general, when people like make blanket statements about deck philosophy and playing philosophy, a lot of the times it's like, no, there's a lot more to it.
that's the first
Yeah.
comment is blanket statements are a trap. And it's
As
like,
that's a blanket statement, but it's whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, which is-
that's the meme,
that's
right?
the point.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think that it is not necessarily the correct idea to just be like, yeah, I'm not playing to not lose all the time. Sometimes you have to.
Yeah. You want to like min max your EV, and
Yep.
sometimes it's
sometimes
playing
you have to not
different
lose.
style.
Yeah, sometimes you got to not lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got questions from our community. These have been piling up for a little while since before last week. So what I'm going to do is read the question, answer it, but also like if you want to elaborate, go for it. But like let's try not to drag it out too long because we got a few
This
questions
could
to
be
answer.
this could be an episode that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
And
You understand that we're all yappers, right? Like,
I know, and also like people said, hey, they're like, when's the keeping tabs coming out? Because like I'm road tripping to Frenzy.
yeah, I know.
Oh,
I need something to
that's
listen to.
funny.
It is funny.
All right, so Grant says, how do you find your window to jam? What are the key points to look out for? I feel like this is probably one of the most important things for newcomers. Any help would be appreciated. Thanks.
Okay, so like I do a lot of coaching, so it's like shout out to me if you want coaching. Got him.
I'm just gonna show like the Obama like giving himself a medal.
dude.
Yeah, if you want coaching from me, hit me up on Discord. But this is a question that often gets asked
Yeah.
from the coachee to me, and honestly, like it's really hard to gauge your windows. Like obviously, some people aren't gonna tell you, like, oh, go jam, bro. We don't have anything. You got it, bro. But the best ways to like gauge your window and if it's open or closed is like how just like the politics of the game are going on so far. Like you can gauge if someone has interaction or not just based on like even their posture, how they are uncomfortable or very comfortable.
They're like timing their responses to things. Like
if they're uncomfortable or comfortable with like a certain game action, stuff like that. Like if someone pauses on like a vamp tutor or whatever, you might get
they might
from
have
it
a mental.
that it's like a mental misstep or
Yeah.
even an oppo, and you just have to think about that. Whether they have mana open is also a huge factor in this. Because if they don't have mana up, I'm looking at your graveyard and seeing if you've got Force in your hand.
Yeah.
If it's not there, I'm jamming.
Yeah. You just like play the odds at some points, right?
For sure.
I think this is like a very hard thing to like learn, right? And it's depending on the players that you're playing against and depending against like there's just so much that goes into it. But there's also ways to like get information out of players. There's been a lot of conversation again about Vexing Bauble being like, hey, should I like leave a mana open? So like, can someone show me a reason to like leave a mana open to like not, so I don't like I have to crack my Vexing Bauble if need be.
Yeah.
And someone like might just show you a free piece of interaction and be like, yeah, don't tap out, and you're like, okay, sick. I'm jamming now. Yeah, and so like there's a lot of information that you can like gather, especially if you can like point at another player that is a little bit more threatening than you.
You can also it's super easy in like white decks, right? Where you can open your own window with like an abolisher or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You like sometimes I'll ask, hey, I can jam a win right now. Show me a piece of interaction. I won't. Sometimes they'll show me a force and egg. And then I'm like, okay, I'll vamp tutor for a Grand Abolisher.
Yeah. I think, like I said, we actually just had that great write-up by Vafnar being like, yeah, in Denver, dude, they always just like, before they're jamming, they're like, hey, does someone want to show me a piece of interaction so I don't get blown out here? And he's like, I've never, like, that happened in like 3 of my games out here. And you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And
you can also just show cards and just like get information for it. There's a game the night before Combat. It was a top cut game which Logan, Jax, and what's his name? He'll come back to me. But it was Logan, Jax, and someone else on, and it was double Rangsai, Satya, and me on farm. And I'm like, Jax, show me why I shouldn't cast this Tithe. He shows me a Force of Neg, and I just cast a Voice of Victory. And Jax is like, oh, I thought I got one over you because I was actually holding up Commandeer too.
That's very funny. Like I said, like trying to pull information out of people is a really good way of like learning if your window is open or closed as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any thoughts, Logan?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, if you want, you can just start jamming wins, and you'll find out very quickly if the window is open or not.
Yeah, that's also true. Like, especially if your deck like is all gas, like you can repeatedly jam multiple turns in a row, and then like under that like nuanced game, or like not like I guess when you jam, right, the game isn't quote unquote perfect. Like it's gonna devolve into chaos, and in that chaos you can derive information very easily.
And also you can use that information in future games where you're gaining experience of, oh, I tried to jam on turn 2. And actually, like, I underestimated the Tivet player, the Blue Farm player, or whatever. Like, they had resources up that I didn't see, or they had a free interaction.
Yeah.
Like, I will know in the future, maybe I need to do that in a protected manner.
Yeah.
Instead of non-protected.
I will, like, push back. Like, I think that if it's turn 2, I think you should just jam, right? Like, you just take your chances most of the time.
Sure, but, like...
It depends on your seat order and what the pod composition is, right?
Yeah.
But generally, like, I think that's fine to jam on turn 2. If you have win.
I was just giving an example. Like,
absolutely.
Part of it's an experience thing. So, like, just if you're not sure when to jam, instead of like dancing around it, like just put the win on the stack. And then if it doesn't work, if that win doesn't blow you out entirely, like then you have to refactor and try to like find a way back into the game again, which is fine. But also, like, then you've learned that, hey, I shouldn't have jammed right there. I could have done it better.
Also, rule of thumb: if you tutored for a win, just jam it. Okay, it's not gonna get better if you wait another turn.
That is true.
Yeah.
Also there's a little bit of a nuance when it comes to like if your pod has a deck that is like inevitable, like a Lumra or a Magda or something along those lines. Sisse, like
you want to get ahead of it.
You want to get ahead of it because like the longer that game goes on, the more inevitable their win comes, and like the smaller and smaller your window is, right? So recognizing those like play patterns of especially like Lumra.
That window's shutting slowly on you
exactly.
throughout the game,
it's
regardless
like,
of what's happening.
It's like an uncommon or oncoming tsunami.
Yeah.
And you can see it. You can see it from over there.
It's like that scene in Interstellar where like, oh, those are mountains. And like, no, that's a wave.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure you board the plane to get the fuck out before the tsunami comes.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. But yeah, like understand that like sometimes your window's just never getting better if that's a deck that's in the pod. Like you just need to go.
Yep. Welder ZE says, are there any techniques that you use when politicking that you don't often see other players do? Are there any techniques that you find work better in high skill pods versus low skill pods? And I think, to be fair, this is something that's like fairly hard to talk about in a way that like doesn't offend people. But there's just people that aren't as skilled at cEDH, and there's people that are more skilled. And games when I like sit down across from like Pigeon, for example, this past weekend, that is a different pod immediately than 3 other players that I don't know. And like I think this is a totally legit question. Like it's hard to answer though.
I think that in like I try to like separate it between like Swiss and like top 16 because that's usually like your notification that hey, like the quality of player is a little bit
like
better
that's
here.
Naturally what Swiss does is weed out the less skilled players.
I think that politicking in Swiss, I really like to point out like exactly what we're losing to, and I do paint a villain in my pod a lot of the times.
Why is it always me, bro?
No,
why is it always me,
You
bro?
deserve it.
Nah, bro.
So I really do like to try like paint a villain and paint because just like some people like just don't know how you're losing to like a Magda, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think we were playing a game in at Heisenberg, and like Jax, I heard him from like 2 tables over, just being like, "Do you guys understand we're losing here?" And like explaining the entire line and being like, "Okay, like now that it's been pointed out, we are on a team. What do we have?" You know, like. But that stuff is not stuff that you need to do in top 16. There's a lot more like
how
reason.
do you do that if you're a new player and you don't have experience playing against these other decks or playing with these decks?
Okay.
Asking.
So if
Like,
you're-
legitimately
it's-
asking.
Yeah. If you're the new player, you ask, but you want to always derive your own information. You cannot trust that your opponents ever have 100% your best interest at mind. So
I will say, if like 2 to 3 players are going, yes, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Like they're probably correct, and they're not.
Yeah.
they're not trying to scum you.
consultation win with the Thassa's should be on this side.
Everyone's like,
Yeah.
Then yeah, they're probably right.
Yeah.
I think that especially like if you're playing CDH and you're a new player, and if you have an idea of something that looks threatening, you should just like ask the table, right?
Yeah.
Especially, or even not even necessarily threatening, but like something that's like, oh, like why are they playing that? Like that card's not good. Why is that in the deck? Like just asking your 3 opponents.
Sure.
Usually your two opponents that also don't want to lose will give you a heads up of like why that exists, right? Like for example, Devoted Druid looks like a bad card in every aspect until it wins the game.
I don't think it
Right.
does. To a new player, it looks like a dork.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's
that's true.
unassuming.
It's unassuming. Yeah.
Okay, but no, here's a better example. In one of my Swiss games this past weekend, I was against a Tiam player, and they're playing this thing that like untaps and makes a creature, and I'm like, why is that in the deck?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, I think it like goes infinite with something else. But like, had I not asked the question, the information would not be at the table.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, of course, the Titan player is going, I don't know, like, I'm not saying anything.
Right.
Right. Tiam players doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
But we discerned that they, because we were stacked out, they were just assuming that we didn't have a board wipe, and they're going to make infinite creatures and then untap and then kill us with those infinite creatures. So like,
Checks out.
so like we're like, oh, okay, like we need to deal with this, like instead of just losing to it randomly.
Yeah.
But like when you see those things, those pieces that you're like unsure about, start asking questions.
Yeah. I mean, you can also just like straight up ask the player, be like, hey, are you winning here? And like a lot of people can't hide.
They fold.
Yeah, they straight up, like they just start smiling and they're like,
No, that's like that's what I do on the opposite end to our boy Hazen. I'm like, you got a piece for me?
yeah,
You got a counter spell for me? And he'll fold. He's like, nope,
yeah.
nope, I don't have anything.
So funny.
You're gonna win.
It's so funny. But yeah, again, just like get the conversation rolling when it comes to something that you don't understand or that looks scary.
I don't know about the question that's like, are there techniques that work better in high skill pods versus low skill pods? I think one of the things that I do is I try to simplify things as much as possible. And I just go like, if they play that card and it resolves, we lose the game. I guarantee it. And they're like, oh, okay. Like if you put it into framing of like winning versus losing instead of like, here's how like they dismantle your board and then they put all the permanents back in your hand and like, you know, like instead of explaining all the stuff.
It's like, no, we just lose.
No, yeah, we literally lose the game. We stand up and walk away from here and we get 0 points.
Yeah, and then going into like a higher skill pod, you kind of just expect that you don't need to have those conversations because they kind of know at least the idea, or at least that's the thought process of like, most of these players probably have seen this before. We don't need to explain some of the like common combos to people. I don't need to like
Wait, what do you
fear
mean the
monger.
brewmaster eating the devoted druid is gonna make them infinite mana?
Right. And I think like also in like top 16 or higher skill pods, there's a lot more honesty that happens there. Like people are just like, I'm not winning. And they're like, okay. Like it's a very different game. It's a very, very different game. And the way that you politic those games are it's interesting.
The games I find hardest to navigate are the ones that are mixed. where you have
Yeah.
another skilled player in the pod, and you have to stop the other skilled player from brainworming the two unskilled players.
Yeah.
And then you also have to simultaneously brainworm those two. Like, you have to have those two players on your side.
Why don't you just brainworm all three of them, bro? you're not thinking big enough, bro.
He's like, wait, dude. If I incept that guy and he incepts those two, it's a pyramid scheme and I'm on top, dude.
Bro.
All right. Speaking of the boy Hazen, he says, how much of a percentage do you gain from just being confident in your deck and your ability?
That's actually a really good question that I'll answer. So I think like a big part of like my performance as a whole is when I'm doing good, I feel I'm doing good. Like I know I'm doing good. I know I'm better than you, bro. But when I'm doing bad, like I know I'm doing bad. And that like it almost compounds on itself in an extremely negative way in the bad direction. And then it also compounds extremely well in the excellent.
Yeah, you see this in like professional sports too, right? Like the confidence building. Like there's
like if you're on a hot streak.
Yeah. Like I don't know, there's an infinite amount of like signs or examples of this happening in sports. You know, it happens in football, it happens in soccer, it happens in hockey. Like if they hit the hot streak in the playoffs and they're like not even necessarily the best player or team, like they just like go on a hot streak and win the thing, right? Like it happens. So I think it plays a lot into it, just like confidence and feeling good in your decisions. Obviously, sometimes that is a trap.
You
but
also become more decisive the more confident you are.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether that's to your detriment or not,
absolutely,
it's still a game plan you're looking forward to. You're pushing yourself forward at all points.
Yeah,
Confidence is not something that's just internal. People can read confidence on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can see that you're confident about something. And if you're saying like, oh no, we're just losing here, and you're like, whether it's true or not, you're 100% confident, and you're making that argument.
No, I'm joking.
No, I mean like
no. I know what you're talking about.
You can a player who's maybe less experienced or not as good will say like, oh dang, like I know this player is good. They know what they're talking about. Like, you know.
Yeah. I think it plays a huge part into it. And then like on the second kind of area, the question of being like confident on the deck, I think that also plays a huge part into it because it helps your mulligans where, you know, like we have seen, again, an infinite amount of examples where Jason just like trusts his deck and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to find land fish on my 2 eventually, you know, and you're like, and somehow he just finds it, right?
Bro, this last weekend, I mulled down to 3 before someone looked at their second 7, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Let's go. There's a timer right there, bro.
Yeah.
I know all these hands over here are trash. I'm like,
see ya. Like, but yeah, I think like having confidence in the deck, and this is something that I learned on Gwenum, and this is every time that I've like ever told someone to play the deck.
Well, yeah, when you spend 18 hours goldfishing in an airport.
Yeah. Like, but like you just like gain confidence being like, you have to trust the deck. It will find you a turn 2 Gwenum. Like 100% of the time, it will do it. And like knowing that and just like looking at a hand that's like on a 4 and you're like, it still doesn't do it. And you're like, whatever, who cares? Like send it back. Like I think that plays a huge part into your mulliganing strategies and the confidence of it, like what your game plan is going to do to work.
As a player who started at nothing and now I'm in the top like 20 based on like points and stuff like that. I think one thing I struggled with was not being confident, but I also didn't really have a whole lot of reason to be confident. And so I put a lot of work into developing my skill and just like, okay, well, I just need to sit down and like win a game. And then at this tournament, I need to win a game. And then I need to win 2 games. And then I need to make top 16.
Yeah, find achievable goals and be proud of your achievements.
Right.
So I listened to your guys' interview with that Lotho player actually. And that's how they framed the entire Steel City event.
Yep.
They're like, okay, I'm happy if I walk away with 2 wins. And then they kept setting more goals as they eventually made top 4. Like, I want to win another game. Sure, let's win another game. Oh, I want to win my top 16 game now. Okay, win top 16. Unfortunately, he didn't win the whole event, but that's still an insane showing.
Oh yeah,
for
a super fringe deck.
Yeah,
but also like
for a deck I've never seen before.
there's more to cEDH than the game. There's more to the cEDH than the tournament. There's more to it than the series. There's probably like the biggest lofty goal is like your career as a cEDH player or tournament grinder or whatever you want to phrase it or however you want to look at it. But like for me, I put in so much work at saying like, at this point, I need to stop coping and start winning. And if I start winning, then I can become confident that I can win.
Yeah, winning solves a lot.
Once you start winning, that's great. But like you need to then start being able to win consistently. Once you can win consistently, then you're like up in the clouds and you're like soaring. You're gliding. You're going, okay, well now I can win consistently. Now I can like play other decks and like weird strategies and be confident in my abilities as a player, and then work on the deck or like take these unique strategies and play them at like, you know, a high level.
And then the other thing is like, if you're losing your confidence, just revisit your fondest moments. Like, see what you've accomplished so far. Like I know this is a big one, and Jay talked to me about this. He was feeling a little like down recently, right? So like we just took a trip down memory lane, and like we just talked about how he randomly went to New York
and crushed that
to
tournament.
a fucking event, won on turn 1 in Swiss, made top 4 at that event, and should have won that event.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
We all have those events and moments, and as you start to play more and get more experience, then like, yeah, bank on those, like rely on them, remember them for what they are, remember the good parts, and you can bring those things and those experiences to the table where other players that aren't confident can't. So that's where your confidence comes from.
Yeah.
Boros Armory. Oh, gee, I wonder who that is. Our friend Wayne says, as players, what's the biggest draw to an event/tournament for you? As TOs, what do you prioritize?
It's okay. So like, it's pricing and location.
Convenience is probably what you'd say.
Yeah, I think like travel arrangements, like pricing. I'm not like super worried about pricing at the moment. I'm just like kind of worried about development of my game at this point. And I think that to try to become a better player, I want to play in bigger and bigger events.
Yeah.
I do think that like convenience of like the place where we're playing, how cheap it is to fly there. Realistically, I think that's like the number one thing for me. Like
value, because like if you keep burning holes in your wallet, like it's really unsustainable.
Right.
And so like unsustainable, it's like disheartening.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're like, damn, I'm minus $500 this year on whatever, right?
Yeah. So I said, I kind of have like put a travel limit on myself. Not a limit, but I'm like, if a flight is over $200, I don't think I'm going to the event. Because like if you add your hotel and all this other stuff, then obviously it gets expensive.
Yeah.
If we're talking about like at the event, like what makes things run well, communication from the TO, good judging, good venue, food at the venue, whether it be snacks or something along those lines. Yeah. Access to water.
No, that's actually the biggest one.
Yeah.
Is access to water, because there have been like local events we've been to where like the water is like the sink bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking
of bathrooms, good bathrooms.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good bathrooms, true.
And also like if all of these things go correctly, then you have notable and good players that you're friends with around the country going to this event. And that's a big draw for us as players.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I mean, like immediately when you start seeing a big event start being advertised, you're like hitting up some of the friends being like, all right, who's going to this one? Who's going to that one? Like, what's the plan here? Because this is still Magic: The Gathering. Like, we all enjoyed The Gather, right?
Yes.
What else?
The last question was, as TOs, what do you prioritize? And I think, from our perspective, is a unique experience, and also like we want to take care of the players. We want the players to have fun.
Yeah, I think player experience is like the number one thing, right?
Yeah, you got to make sure your event is well done.
And also memorable to some extent, like having Freedom Waffle there to take photos and and also just like have a good experience and be like, wow, damn, that event was so fun. Like that's what we want.
Yeah. After running our first event, I do think that I would prioritize a few things just that we didn't really think about that much. Like just like space between the pods. Just being like, oh, this
Also,
is something
like, set up before the day before.
Yeah, just like having access to some logistics things that we didn't.
But now we know for the future, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like just some random stuff that like you don't really think about when it's your first event doing as a TO. And then now that we've done it, you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely something I would put into the book of checklists that we need to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Captain Moral Support says, I get over-respected in games regardless of what decks I play. If and when you're over-respected in games, how do you deal with that and win through it?
First of all, Jason's face is hilarious while you're reading this question.
Jason, what do you have to say about this?
Never mind. I won't diss you on the pod, brother. But
No, I think this is a real question.
But
like,
the best way to like not get over respected is like just explain where you are in the game, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Brother, what do you want me to do? I'm a 2 lands fish, no cards in hand. Like
Yeah. I think we're in a weird situation. It's kind of hard to explain because we are content creators and like we in our top deck profile, like it says critical EDH now,
people
right?
are out for
like,
my head,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, exactly. It's
yeah, some of us get silenced on our upkeep with 2 cards in hand for some reason, and I'm just like, okay, sure.
It's really weird because it can benefit us and negatively impact us as well, right?
Yeah.
Like the negative impact is that people are gunning for us and they're just like, they know that we are good players. They know that we have a lot of knowledge of the format. They
Hyperfixate
They
on us.
hyperfixate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But on the other end of things, like, we can't lie. Like, it's just not possible. Like,
Bro, we'll get cooked on
yeah,
the
yeah,
pod.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so, like, I had a situation at Pittsburgh where I was like, okay, like, hey, I won't push on my turn. And someone, like, asked, like, straight up, like, well, you could be lying. And another person in the pod was like, yeah, the content creator is going to lie to us. And I was like, yeah, I can't. It's not possible.
Like, no, you don't understand. Right? Everything
No, there's
is
like
right.
even more incentive for us not to cheat, not to lie.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
to,
And so it is interesting to be in this like space that people do overly respect us, but then also we have this like weird benefit of our words are more truthful, like hold a little bit more regard in a pod.
It is very strange for sure.
Yeah. But in this situation for Captain Moral Support, I think like again, just being honest, like where you are in the game.
Yeah, like
you know?
just explain your situation. I mean, like it just comes down to like politicking, right? It's like you need to explain to your opponents at which point you're like weak, right? Like you're weak right now. You have no cards in hand or whatever, right? Or like, oh, you're not doing anything right now. Like they're like, and that's a question you can impose on your opponents. Is like, what are you scared of, brother? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, hey, explain to me what you're actually worried about.
If they can't actually explain it, then it is just an innate fear of.
That's a thing that like politicking strategy is like making them come up with a conclusion of like, oh, they shouldn't be scared of you.
Yeah.
Right. I also think there's a common concept of being in the 3v1 and like always trying to be in the 3 until you're winning the game.
Yeah,
right?
try to be the friend to others at the table and be like,
I think gold is like gold puts it as 3 nails and a hammer.
Yeah,
sometimes
it's true, right?
you're the hammer, but you know.
Yeah, and I think that like in general you want to be, unless you're playing hyper turbo and it's the very beginning of the game, like you want to be in the 3 of the 3v1 because that means your resources you need to use less of them to answer the problem, right? And until the very end, and then you want to just like go over top. That's the idea.
And also just be willing to work with other people. I think
Absolutely.
is part of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say this person's name. Max, we'll just call him Max. He says, I started playing cEDH in 2025, but I've only played in Japan, and that meta does not have draws. How do I switch my mentality or playstyle to adapt to the West?
Oof.
I don't know that any of us can really answer this question. We're born and bred in the draw meta, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There are just gonna be some board states where in Japan you can't take a draw because like they don't exist, right?
Yeah.
But there are points of like quote unquote no return, like where if this doesn't get interacted with, you lose the game, like in X amount of turns or whatever, and that's when you can offer a draw, right? There's an event in the Springs I played at where someone packed my Seedborn Muse, left the game, but they asked the other two players to play for a draw at that point because that was the point of no return.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's looking for these critical moments within games to see if your EV of 5 points versus 1 point versus 0 points, like how
Yeah.
that works out in your head, right? Is it more likely that you get 0 points or 1 point from this game? And if it's 0, you better offer that draw as fast as possible.
Find a way to push it through.
Yeah. I think when you start seeing the window getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where it's like basically closed, that's when you need to be like, all right, I need to find a way to get a point here versus 0.
Yeah.
Skillfully drawing games is not easy. It is a skill in its own to draw a game, especially one in which you cannot win.
It is a very large reason why Blue Farm is the best deck in the format is because they can force a draw so easily, in my opinion.
Interesting.
They have a lot more like Blue Farm, even
We
like the
have
turbo
packed the
versions.
negation.
Yeah. Like even the turbo Blue Farms like are still running more interaction than like most decks, right? And like it is a huge part of the reason why they are able to
I think they're also
be
just
able to
put
not
the,
lose.
the board state into a situation which
Yeah.
other people don't like, and you're like, okay, well, I can do stuff that you don't want, but like
You
I
can
can't.
also just put a draw on this deck if you jam.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Blue Farm's really good at just being like,
Here's the win.
I have an intuition. Can someone give me a win and we get a draw instead?
Bro knows a lot about that.
Yeah. I mean, like Jonah has done it to me, I think 3 times now, and I'm just like, oh, that feels bad. But like, yeah, I think that when you start seeing like the no more light and the tunnel, that means like, okay, I need to figure out a way to get a point here.
I would say reframe instead of worrying about every single game, worry about where you are in the tournament.
Yeah.
And say like, okay, well, just remind yourself at every instance that like drawing is better than losing. And whether everyone agrees with that or not, but like that is factual based on our tournament structure.
Yeah.
Normac says, looking at how strong Mardu has been this past summer, what makes Timna Dargo stand out that the other Mardu decks like Celeste, Dahada, Rog Timna can't do? Is it entirely pilot dependent or a numbers game based on like the number of pilots or where's the
Okay,
deck?
so I actually think Timna Dargo has a like special place in the Mardu like hemisphere or like sphere, umbrella, whatever. Just because it's a creature combo deck, right? It is extremely hard to interact with, can win through Ranger Captain Silence, can win through even Silence itself, if you have like correct activated abilities and stuff. In
Yeah,
play,
if you like the
right? And
Technomancer
that is,
already
like,
out and stuff. Yeah.
way harder to stop than like the traditional Mardu stuff, on top of them already just running insane payoffs that regular Mardu runs.
Yeah.
And Dargo is just a insane battery for starting these combos,
Yeah.
having payoffs for them.
Massive explosivity that people aren't
Yeah.
ready for.
Yeah, I think what it offers is realistically what it offers is Dargo and the fact that you can run Sacrifice and Burn Offering, like those things, and Technomancer just being able to get this like abundance of mana that the other Mardu decks aren't able to do as easily. And Mardu can like convert that mana into way
Fear.
too many cards and win the game.
Into Peer into the Abyss or Bolus Citadel or just
Right.
these payoffs that are massive and expensive. But
Yeah,
And
and
we're
since
also already playing a creature deck, right? So your Timna plan is still excellent.
Yeah.
Versus like what is the fallback plan of a Dahada deck, right?
or like a Timna Rog. Like Rog doesn't do anything for Timna.
yeah, Yeah, I think it's definitely a unique deck, and currently I think people are still like kind of trying to figure out how to play against it is a thing as well. Like we are seeing
You're
these
just
like
turbo faster than it.
yeah, that's true, right?
Or you play cards like Damping Sphere.
Damping Sphere is huge.
Oh, champ, brother.
Ochant, really, I do not know how many times at this point where I've played against a Timon Dargo player and just flash them in an Ochant and be like, yeah, you're not winning a game. And they just like accept it. Yeah, like they're just like I was like, you better find your
They're
E
like-
zone because that's your only option here.
They're like, GG, bro.
Yeah. But I think that the things that you want to counter from Timon Dargo are not necessarily things that like we consider super threatening spells. Like I do think that like you need to start targeting like their sacrifice or their burnt offering because it pauses them a lot.
I think those are pretty easy counters at this point.
Yeah.
So
I think the first Dargo is actually sometimes the interaction point.
Sometimes.
It's weirder to
Sometimes.
interact with like their one drop creatures or like their random like greedy free looters. Or whatever.
Yeah, it is a deck that's like it feels kind of like when Rogthras was starting to gain popularity and everyone's like, oh yeah, all their spells are all uncounterable because it's all bad. Right? But like that's not necessarily like the case in Timon Dargo. Like they obviously have spells that you want to counterspell because it's like Citadel and Adnaz and Pier and all these other things. But sometimes like when they get to that spot, it's a little too late. And so you need to like
Because they'll also have
need to
like,
tempo them a little
protected
bit.
silences too.
Yeah. I think it is a deck that like if you like tempo pause them, it falls apart a little bit for sure.
I think it's going to see a fall off a little bit, especially into next year. People are going to start respecting the deck more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not going to be as prevalent.
I also, like I said, tempoing things in cEDH is not a play pattern that we really do very often, but sometimes it's necessary.
You refer to as like time walking someone.
Yeah, like mental misstamping a mana vault or something along those lines is just like a tempo play, but
it might be the right thing to do against that deck.
Yeah, exactly. Like it might be. It's the same thing that you have to do like against Atali, of being like, oh yeah, we need to like tempo loss them, and then they're just like so far out of this game that they don't have a chance of
You
winning.
missed up the Tinder wall, and they're like,
Yeah, exactly. And they're just like, oh wait, what? And you're like,
Castrana.
yeah. But yeah, I think it's just it's a deck that preys on the knowledge of that, right? And it's just a hard thing to do because it feels really weird in this meta to like not counterspell something that doesn't win the game, but it does win the game in a turn, right?
Our friend Vafnar says, when Flash was banned in 2020, there were 19,200 unique cards legal in Commander. Since that point, we've seen the introduction of 10,000 unique cards into the format, including the development of new strategies in old tech. While my personal unbanned pick would be Nadu, to hear myself talk more, what would you guys like to see banned / unbanned to see a more interesting meta? I don't think any of us want anything banned.
J-Lo?
It's Lotus.
Lotus Crypt.
I'm a firm believer that I think like most of the ban list should get unbanned at this point.
Bro, I even said it in our 13 questions.
Yeah.
About unbanned recall.
Like
I think that's true.
I think like if it's not Black Lotus, the Moxes, Time Vault,
Time Walk.
If we're talking
Time
about
Walk.
like reasonable unbans, so I think it's Crypt and Lotus for sure.
yeah, I think J-Lo.
definitely
Realistically,
not
I think that
Nadu
J-Lo's
and
coming
Dockside.
back the next time they have unbans.
Interesting.
Like
But-
I'm a firm believer J-Lo's coming back.
Okay.
But I think that if you like Hull Breacher and Dockside should probably stay off the ban list or stay on the ban list. Other than that, I think like everything is fine. Like I also don't think Flash Hulk would not be a good deck right now. Like I think it would be fine. We have like evolved so much as a format. Like we didn't even have Fierce Guardianship when Flash was a thing, right? Like
Yeah, we did.
No clue, bro.
I'm not. This is just something I read. Like we also gained Force Negation from when Flash was a thing,
Okay.
and like there's just a lot more in our format, the card quality has gotten so good in decks that if you were to play Flash Hulk, like you're actively accepting that you're like playing 10 bad cards in your deck. And like I don't know if decks can do that anymore.
Well, let us know in the comments if Flash Hulk should come back.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second part of the question is, why didn't you pick Yawgmoth's Bargain?
I think Bargain's fine. I don't know.
It's kind of a crazy card, but also it's like what, 6 mana or whatever.
It's 6 mana, dude. This week on Twitter, I like
It's also
posted
not
saying,
a creature, so you can't reanimate it.
yeah, that's true. I mean, you can Shifting Woodlands it, which would be gas. That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah, after you get delirium.
Yeah.
How do you even do that in this format?
Yeah. On Twitter this week, I like posted saying like release Grizzlebrand. Like I think that it would be so fine, and there was some pushback. I like Bad Dog's take being like, yeah, Rogside turns into a Polyrog deck, which is kind of crazy to me.
Kind of already is. Oh, no, Rogside, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you meant
Rogside
Tivet.
deck.
Yeah.
It turns into a Polyrog deck, which I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't think that's necessarily true, but maybe. But I don't think Grizzlebrand gets put into T and K. I don't think it gets put into Rogside. I don't know, I don't even know if it sees play.
It just helps out the reanimator decks.
Yeah, which
aren't.
I
very
think
good.
needs to be good. Like I think we want that in the format, right?
Sure.
Like at least I do. I think like having a good reanimator deck
You
would
can tell
be so
this guy's
sick.
played Legacy.
Yeah, of course. I love reanimator.
All right, this
right?
guy, Fuzzy Slippers 501 says, we keep hearing about how bad Force Seat is. My LGS started testing an emblem this week for Force Seat that works as a Lotus Petal, but doesn't turn on Opal, Kinnan, and such. It doesn't do anything besides just give you a mana.
So it's a one-time use land. Got it.
What are your thoughts on this edition, or do you not see any problems with Force Seat and you should just jam harder?
I think that there is a 4 seat problem. I don't think we should change game mechanics to fix that problem.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yep, and we've talked about this a ton of times.
I think it is better for you to stop thinking about different game mechanics you can apply to make Fourth Seat better and just instead becoming better as a player yourself.
Yeah.
And
use,
in that,
use
you
your
can
words.
You can just leverage that way better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, play more greedy in 4 seat because you should, realistically. Like, your stuff is basically uncounterable. I politic a lot saying I'm in 4th seat if I'm in 4th seat, being like, what do you care about?
Like, I hear this every game.
Yeah, if I'm in 4th seat, I'm just like, stop. Like, what are you worried about? Like, my win percentage is 12%. You know? And then people are like, oh, you're right. They just let things resolve.
The thing is, I don't think you actually believe that, though.
No, I don't. But I will politic that way.
Correct.
Yeah, and I will say true stats, which are my win percentage is 12%.
I mean, I had a lot of games in 4th seat over the weekend, and like, I felt disadvantaged. But I also think if you're in 4th seat, you are disadvantaged. That's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
It is okay to play from behind.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, some players are better playing in that spot, right? Like, not necessarily like from that position in seat, but like playing in that dynamic of being like, I am behind immediately, right? And like
Colin Bennett, bro, this guy.
Yeah,
like,
true.
I'm so behind, guys.
Yeah.
I'm so behind.
Yeah, and so like I think like in that spot, like guaranteeing yourself that you're part of the 3v1 like from the start of the game
Sure.
is interesting, right? Like it's a very different way to play the game, and there's advantages in that people just don't really know how to take advantage of.
My current least favorite thing about 4th seat is that there's in the tournament over the weekend, I ping pong between 1st and 4th because it tries to keep your average the same.
Yeah.
And what it really should be doing is keeping your average the same, but also kind of splitting your position across seats as the tournament goes on. But like going 1st and then 4th and then 4th and then 1st and then 4th over 5 rounds is like...
It's very weird.
Like, I get it, but also if the win percentages line up, that's not good.
Yeah.
So that might need to be fixed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just in general, like we would like to see a varying seat order when like I know I'm playing in a tournament.
Can you imagine just like getting a free vamp tutor though before your turn 0? Like
I think that this is like there's so many problems with this. Like Rogside is just like, yep, I want this. Oops, all spells. I want this. Right?
You should never want something.
Yeah. Like there's so many decks that would just like gain so much advantage from being in 4th seat to the point where they'd be like, yeah, I want to be in 4th seat.
I've heard like an extra mulligan is or like an extra 6.
Sure.
Like you go 7, 7, 6, 6.
Yeah,
5,
but again,
whatever.
that's like game mechanics, right? Like that's stuff that like
it's not really a game mechanic.
it's still a hurdle for players.
It's adding extra stuff into the
Yeah.
game that's not necessary.
I agree.
It's also just like adding a hurdle to players that are coming from EDH to CDH, and it's like I don't
Yeah, you get
ever want to do that, right? Like
Or like you get an extra Lotus pedal that doesn't tap with Kinnan and doesn't do this, doesn't do that. Like, what-
yeah. It's just like no. Like we want the barrier of entry to be as little as possible.
Yeah.
And I said, I have said this in the previous video, but I think like looking at tournament point structure is something that we could actually examine and see if that would help situations. Like it doesn't change your win percentage, but it makes your wins from 4th seat like that much better.
Oh, just
right?
to extend what I was just saying, that was my experience in Swiss. But also, like, if you were a 4th seat in top 16 and top 4, that reflects how well you did in Swiss.
Yep.
So those are not randomly assigned; those are performance-based seedings. So, like,
yeah.
to me, that's a different situation. I'm not complaining about being 4th seat in top
For like
16.
squeaking into top 16. Yeah,
or
for sure.
being in top 4 and also in 4th seat. Like I get it. That's fine because I like put myself in that position. I should have won an extra game in Swiss. Therefore, I would have been higher seeded.
Agreed.
Like, that's fine.
Yep.
Okay. I'll try to. Well, we got a couple more. We'll try to go through these real quick. Vector Robot says, "I know you've visited the topic of Cabbage Merchant as a stacks commander, but I disagree, and I think it should be a mid-range value deck. The deck can tutor out Academy Man and or Peregrine Took by turn 3, having an effective Mystic Remora that makes mana and is a combo piece. I've done some testing on the deck, and it generates absurd value very quickly, often winning on top of other people, etc. Would love to just hear your general thoughts."
I mean, it sounds super interesting. I don't know.
So it's hard to play like a mid-range deck if you don't have ability to stop other people.
Yeah, that was my immediate thought. I think that like playing a mid-range deck without counter magic or silences is very difficult. But I think like playing like this value engine deck seems kind of cool to me. I just don't know if it's particularly very good.
Yeah, it was like the hardest thing with like brewing new decks is that you have to compare it to the field and see where it excels at. Because I'm at the point where like when I see like a new commander or whatever, like it has to do something fundamentally broken,
Yeah.
or something better than a pre-existing deck already. So like if a deck randomly makes more mana than Kinnan, like I'll look into it, or if it molds. Or if it draws more cards than Blue Farm, I'll look at it. But
Yeah.
then you have to make your conclusions afterwards to see if it's actually good or if it's like it's only good at that and nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's like an idea there. I just don't necessarily know if it's something I would explore in general. I don't think mono green is where my brain goes towards a cEDH deck.
This seems like it might be a cEDH deck with like air quotes. Like you are running all the cards, you're playing at the cEDH
So
table,
like a
right?
bracket 4 deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
probably.
mean, it screams bracket 4 deck to me, right? Like, I think that there's like maybe some cool things that you could do with like a Shia, and they do the Shia stuff.
Like don't get me wrong.
but-
If I'm proven wrong, I'm happy to be proven
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly. I don't know. I like kind of branching off of this conversation. It's kind of the thoughts that I'm having with Toph as well. Like Jordan has been brewing that deck quite aggressively.
and it's fun.
It is very fun. It does very strong things. It can definitely win
very
cEDH
cool.
games. I don't know if that deck is going to like land into like a viable deck.
It doesn't have like the requisite tools to consistently tutor out what it needs. And also like it's
It
very
just
commander
needs so many pieces too.
it's commander reliant as well. So like your commander gets removed, then you go, okay, like
Yeah.
can't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, it can win games, right? And it
Sure.
wins games on turn 3 and 4, and it can like do quite broken things.
Hey,
and
Austin,
it's very cool. to
precons
play.
can win games.
That's
bro.
very
Holy
true. That is very true.
Fuck, that's a deep cut, bro.
For those of you, if you're just watching or just joining us, Austin lost a cEDH game to a precon deck.
I'm gonna throw it out there. I was
That
already dead
precon-
by the time that happened.
That precon also won that game from combat damage.
yeah, won it by combat damage.
but
which
that
is
doesn't mean
crazy.
it's a cEDH deck.
Right, exactly.
That's the point I'm trying to
Okay, so like
Yeah.
the best way I think about this is like we've all played League of Legends, right? So like we know
Some of
about
us
like
still play League of Legends.
I think this has been recent. That like, well, Logan was in a game with me.
Really?
You have tried to be in a game with me recently.
sure, brother. It's break time right now.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just think about it like that, right? You have like the really trash champions
Yeah.
in the game that are like somewhat unplayable, but like some of them do like broken stuff in their kit, right?
What's
like,
what's a good example of this right now?
I guess
I mean, okay, so like for example,
Timo can blind you, right? So
Yeah.
so you can't auto attack with that.
yeah. I mean, there's champions that are like fundamentally broken, but are bad in pro play, right?
And you can
Like-
also win games on these champions, given that you just have the nuts, the resources, whatever.
I think
For
like
example-
the best example of that for champion wise is like Master Yi.
I was
right?
literally going to say that.
Yeah, like Master
you
Yi
can
is a
pub
champion that's like
stomp.
notoriously good at pub stomping and like getting you like rising the ranks, and then you meet a certain player
Yeah.
or like you hit an echelon.
Yeah, you hit a threshold
you're just
where like everyone's fundamentals are just better.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, you're not winning on that champion.
They're like,
anymore,
okay, you're
right?
gonna auto attack me to death in melee range. Like, okay,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna stun lock you and kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't necessarily know if like I think the TOF is really cool and I think people should still enjoy playing it, and if they want to play it, go for it. I just don't know if it's gonna like land
But that's
there.
how I think about like the comparison, right? It's like we have different champions in Magic, right? We've got these different commanders, and then they also have like a stat profile line, right? Have you guys ever seen like the gold XP chart, whatever? Right, and it's like
Yeah.
you got like small lines, big lines, and stuff. Like Blue Farm's like maxed out, whatever.
Yeah.
Right, and then you've got other decks. They've
Blue
got
Farm's like 85% on every
yeah,
category.
yeah. And then
Dude,
Broadside's
wait.
like, oh, I'm gonna win on turn 2, turn 1.
The best like comparison. Have you ever seen? This is a deep cut on YouTube. Have you guys ever watched a video called or a person called Tierzu?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yes,
like
bro, he's the go, bro.
he is the go, right? And like he's like, oh, this is the animal, and it shows like the power and the stealth and the
Yeah,
thoughts,
yeah.
and it's like yeah, that's Blue Farm, and it's all 99.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I thought you were gonna reference the Renekton Lizard Wizard.
dude,
video.
no,
That's a classic. All
it
right.
is a classic.
But yeah, I think it's a good point. Like we're all playing cEDH, and there's different levels of cEDH. There's like if you're playing at Fishbowl, that's one thing. If you're playing at the Invitational, that's another thing. If you're playing at locals, that's even lower. And then if you're playing like with your friends, there's cEDH there too.
Yep.
It's all the same thing. We all like.
Oh
that.
yeah, Jordan did talk about playing with his friends for cEDH.
Oh yeah, he's like trying to get more of his original play group to start playing, which I'm super stoked out.
But you have to get people interested, and sometimes like you have to play interesting things to get them interested. So
Yeah.
Maverick SC says, my local meta is full of people who want nothing to do with the political aspect of cEDH, and I'm having And I am struggling to figure out how to properly navigate these games without any politics. What are your guys' thoughts on how best to navigate these games, and like specifically where no one's willing to politic or talk or make deals?
Here's 2 options. Number 1, play Rockside.
Dude, I was just
jam your brains into the wall. Figure it out.
Yeah, be like, hey, you guys need to start politicking because
Or-
I'm winning every game at this
Or
point.
number 2, focus on your fundamentals.
Yeah.
It'll carry you farther than politicking will.
Yeah, that's true.
Politicking is an aspect of cEDH, but like there's so many other different things like mulliganing or sequencing or tutoring for the right thing at the right time and answering correctly. Yeah, there's so many different things you can do.
Yeah. That's so funny that you said Rogsai. Because I was like, yeah, play Rogsai, and they're going to have to start learning how to politic. Like,
Bro, I played Rockside for like 2.5 weeks. I was like, okay, we can keep the game low politic or high politic. I'll win either way.
Or you play Godo.
True.
or Dargo Rayhan. I got one game on that deck, and that deck's gas, dude.
Okay, I played 1 game of Dargo Rayhan. It was in LobbyCon, and I won that game.
I played it. It was last week at locals, and I got Burning Inquiry off of my turn 1 win, my turn 1 breach win, into a turn 2 Dargo in. I was like, this deck's gas, bro.
I think another option, like, realistically, is another option is to play a deck which heavily relies on politics and start showing your opponents the power of making deals. Because Denver wasn't always this way, and like we all politic at a very high level here, but I think it's just like become the natural thing because people like me and Jason, we like to make deals and talk and like play with our.
I like not losing, and I think it should be a shared consensus among the three other players at your pod that losing is bad.
But if you put like a deck like Shorakai into this no talking meta, that deck is really good at not losing. Like you can draw cards and you can counter spells and like, hey, look, I really want to counter this spell, but like I need you to give me something, otherwise like I can't like offer you anything in return. Like I'm happy to be like the table police, but like you need to work with me.
This is kind of interesting, but someone asked, I don't know, a few weeks ago about if I played against a Bumbleflower at Cookout and like what that did to the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, it instantly forced a high resource game. Because Bumbleflower like gives things to your opponents, right? And so like playing a deck like that, even though I don't think it's very good, like forces conversation to happen, right? Play stuff like Scheming Symmetry, like.
Well, you can't play it in that.
No, but I'm saying like just like like apart from that, like play cards that are like, hey, this is gonna benefit all of us. Play Taru Taru, like who wants my card? You know, like.
What can you give me?
Yeah. What can you give me? Like, just
offer you
start
something.
the conversation, right?
Yeah.
And like force it on them is also an interesting way to go about it. I don't know if it'd work, but it's a thought.
So this is an extension of one of the other questions. But Chris at Crack the Stack says, how do you approach playing seats 3 and 4, especially seat 4 as the meta for me is a turn 2.5 meta, where seat 1 and 2 might get to see their third turn and present wins, but seat 3 and 4 end up watching.
Well, play decks that
don't play
win.
Lumra.
Jesus, I have to do it to them, bro.
I'm sorry, but like when you're playing a deck that doesn't have agency in 4th seat, it's very hard to like have agency in 4th seat. What?
Is that his main deck?
At least from what I remember. I'm not 100% sure if that's what they're still playing. But like you need to be able to play a deck that has agency in 3rd and 4th seat if you're wanting agency in 3rd and 4th seat.
Like
right?
I've never fell out of the game when I played like wrong side in 3rd or 4th seat.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my god.
Exactly.
You kind of just sit there with the fish and you're like, we're still in my territory.
Yeah. I think like forcing yourself to play a deck that can drag people to the deep end is also like the longer the game goes, the less the turn order disparity happens, right? And so like being able to play a deck that can force the long game is a huge thing to help in that spot.
And like you still have agency with your words in 3rd and 4th seat. You guys can be like, hey, I know seat 1, seat 2, you're both playing Rockside, but if you seat 2 lose to seat 1, you can't win.
Yeah, exactly. Like
that's just how the math works.
Yeah, I like it's difficult, but I mean, this is a kind of continuation of a conversation that we had earlier last week about like eating your veggies, right? Like
Lumra, despite being green, you don't eat your vegetables with that deck.
There's some things that deck can do that
gotta bring back Eric's Lumra stack deck.
Yeah, I mean, like they also have like random lands that can do things, right?
Yeah, but like not with any consistency though.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are like incidental things that you're like, I happen to have this, or I can tutor for it. But like, you're really not trying to do that. You're trying to like win.
But also, like if you are quote unquote part of the problem of like the game being a 2.5 turn. Like that's what you're expecting the game to end on.
If you don't win the race, you better make sure the race is as long as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like we were talking, like Ian and Cal were talking about it being like you don't want the format to turn out to be like this seat ordered simulator. Like, so don't be part of that problem, right?
Yeah.
And then complain about it. If you're again, I was playing Gwenum and I didn't complain about that problem because I knew I was part of it, right? And so I think like again, play a deck that has agency in those spots, and you will start seeing that problem happen less and less.
Yeah, Tivet felt good from fourth seat all weekend.
Yeah.
Like,
Surprise.
felt fine. All right, so that's all of our questions. We are caught up.
Oh,
Woo!
holy shit. I didn't think that was ever going to happen.
I do want to bring this up. Vafnar made an excellent post on our forum, adnos.gg, about a cEDH road trip that he took.
It was so cool.
I have not read this.
Moving
It's awesome. You should.
So
it's a good read.
The premise is he's moving cross country from Maryland all the way to California and made a bunch of very strategic stops along the way to attend events that were not local to him, but local to where he was that night that he was in town.
Yeah.
And one of those stops was our locals when we just like showed up and he's like, "Hey, nice to meet you guys." And we're like, "Huh?"
No. I was one who, like, someone
Yeah,
told
but you
him.
didn't tell us.
Oh, yeah, I didn't tell you guys. No, that didn't happen.
So he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm Vafnar." I was like, "Oh, hey, like I recognize you from, online and stuff."
Yeah.
And then, I got the whole story and stuff like that. It was very cool. But then he does like this whole write-up of like, here's my experience, here's the deck I played, and here's what happened in each state, and all that kind of
He
stuff.
was, like, comparing the separate metas, and he called us sneaky, which was very funny.
I don't think we're that way at all.
He's like, hey, I also think, like, if you're going to Denver, you need to know how the cleanup step works because everyone will have a necropotence.
Yeah, he mentions me. He says, players don't bluff in the same way, and information is much more open in Denver. In the first round, I played a player, parentheses, funny enough, one of the moderators of Critical EDH, Logan, asked the table, "Can anyone show me a counterspell to not search for Nas?" The table went silent, and I said, "I don't need to search for a win if you guys can show me, like, I'll just get stopped." He jumps in, and he gives me, like, a Force of Will, and at that point, he did not have a blue card. But anyway, he talks about this whole, like, situation and stuff, and, like, how his bluff failed, and I just, like, did it anyway. And, like, it's just interesting to hear from someone else's perspective, like, what's happening in our, like, little meta and stuff like that. It's really, really cool.
We also have an interesting judge question that happened in our game, me and Vafnar's game, which I've heard two different judge rulings at this point.
He has, like, judge rulings, like, with, like, the numbers of, like, the rules and stuff. And he says, like, this was not even the most complicated stack of the night.
So, we had a weird thing that happened in my game where I had a Necropotence and I casted a Yawgmoth's Will. And then from at the end step, because then I got Ranger Captain cracked.
Ranger Crafton, yeah.
Yeah, Ranger Crafton, dude. I got cracked, and then I was able to cast a Grand Abolisher, and then go to my discard and discard cards to Necropotence, which is questionable if it becomes a trigger or not. I've heard both ways, right? Because Yogg's Will was cast, so they are supposed to go straight to the exile pile, but Necro doesn't care? Question mark?
Yeah.
It says if you've discarded a card, take that card from your graveyard and put it into exile. It doesn't matter if that card's still in your graveyard. But other people, like I've had judge rulings say, like, no. If Yogg's Will has happened, then it's just a really interesting conversation. I'd like to hear more opinions on it.
Maybe you guys can find out what's right.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I asked Sylvan, because Sylvan's one of these people that I basically trust their opinion 100% of the time, and he's like, like, old cards are weird, but yeah, there is a trigger that doesn't do anything, but there is a trigger that does happen. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to trust. So
I liked the conclusion of this post, and there's a couple people that like commented on it after, but the end of this post says, so after all of that, there were 6 days of driving and 4.2 thousand miles in total for a 21% win rate and a 25% draw rate. This experience has revealed some massive holes in my gameplay stemming from my habits built up in playing in my local meta where you just jam to win. I was unable to identify proper windows to jam in both slower and more developed metas, unable to sequence the stack correctly in a multiplayer setting, and was unable to secure an even just like an average win record. This has left me with solid places to improve and a new fire to learn and improve my mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. Like I highly suggest if you're at all interested in written content, go read this post.
It was so well written.
It's so cool. It's just like it's just cool to hear about. Like, we don't hear about this kind of stuff very often. And there's really no other place that this type of content can live other than AdNos because there's just nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
So
Adnos.gg.
GG, bro.
GG, bro. That's what happens when
if
you
you
cast
want to go
AdNos,
check that
too.
out, go check that out. The last thing we want to talk about is a very, very far away event. June 13th, 2026, Siege at the Castle. I think that's a temp name, but it's sponsored and hosted by not only Level 7, but MTG Basics and also us at Critical EDH. This is going to be a diamond event. That's what we're shooting for. So
Yeah, we're shooting for a 10K diamond event.
10K minimum. It really kind of just depends, and we're trying to find
Yeah.
out all the details on that. And then we're also talking about some interesting tournament structure things, where like the redemption event is going to be very, very accessible and a very, very real part of the event. So we'll release more details on that coming soon.
I also think if you're like planning to come to this event, obviously it's like we are just now talking about it. It's one of the last events before Top Deck cutoff points.
Yep. Again,
It's close.
Yes.
Yeah, it's close to that.
it's going to be probably the last
The last diamond for
We're
sure.
one of the
platinum.
last
One of the last
or
ones.
diamond. Yeah, sorry.
Denver is also incredibly accessible from airport, right?
DIA, baby.
DIA, and then also there's just a train that goes straight downtown, which just makes things a lot easier for people.
Well, it's going to be
This is
up
going to be in
north.
Thornton.
Oh, it's in Thornton.
So yeah,
Okay.
there's still a train that goes up there.
There's still a train that goes from downtown to Thornton if that's where you want to stay. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of reasons to come to Denver for a big diamond event. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, look forward to that from us, and we'll have more information about that in the future. But for now, we'll just have the link in the description of this YouTube video.
Yeah. Sign-ups are already ready. There's a early bird discount
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you can sign up for $85 right now. Not sure when the cutoff for that is,
But it's
but
probably going to go back up to 100.
yeah.
Anything else for us today? Oh, I know we kind of ran a little bit long and we had a lot of questions.
Nah,
but-
bro, it's the episode that
Yeah,
keeps on giving.
actually, yeah. What are we doing for Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving? I mean, I don't know if people are.
I'm actually
Worried
going to
about this.
Logan's house for Thanksgiving.
Are you really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to my girlfriend's house, or my girlfriend's parents' or family's house.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
I've
then
been
we're-
like basically adopted by her family at this point because I
Oh.
don't have family out here.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then I think we're all going to locals on Friday? Question mark?
I'm definitely planning on it.
I'm planning on it too. We'll see if it happens.
also
I might
plan on
be asking
going
him
to
to
the
play
shops.
Chowder.
I'm also showing up to the shops early on Friday.
Oh yeah,
Level 7 has their like 25% off Magic
off of singles, which is so crazy.
Also packs and other stuff too.
packs. And, yeah.
So yeah,
Icons.
if you're in the Denver area, check out Level 7 at any location. 25% off all TCG singles, which is crazy.
It
That's
is
really,
honestly
really good.
the biggest thing is that they have 4 stores.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
crazy to
If I don't
Yeah,
find what
they're-
I want at the North Store, I'm coming back down here.
I feel like I need to like text John and be like, hey,
What?
any of those like retro foil fetches that you have, just
No. You
put them
got-
all into one shop so I can buy them all. Like,
Gotta be like you got the duels.
yeah, hey, where are the duels at, dude?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm stoked for Thanksgiving, and then we're having a Friendsgiving on
Later.
next Saturday. Next
Something like
Saturday.
that.
So next weekend.
Next Sunday.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Someone was like, but we're playing Magic, right? And everyone's
That
like,
was me.
everyone's like, well, we don't have to. And all the guys are like,
No, dude, your response made me laugh so hard, being like, "Well, we could just like have them play, and we all could just stand behind them, coach them,
all the girls.
all the girls."
Emily wins that pod.
I do
So
think
that's
Emily
what's
wins that
happening.
pod for
Yeah,
sure,
Emily
but
cooks that pot.
yeah,
Emily wins that pod if I don't coach her. Because she like, we like butt heads too much.
Here,
That kind of
all,
stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll coach her,
Yeah.
bro. I'll
Yeah.
coach her.
That's funny.
yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. But no, I'm excited. Thanksgiving's one of my favorite holidays, so
For sure. We covered a lot today, and we thank you all for sticking with us. We hope you all have a good holiday and good Thanksgiving break, and come back refreshed and hit some more tournaments on the other side of this.
yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.